Hello people, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks. Guys, hope that you are well. In today's little short story, I want to read a story from Paulo Coelho, where he talks about us carrying our own cross, this burden. And it's an interesting story because at the end there's a little twist, and I hope that it kind of brings some kind of reassurance for you. We all have our crosses to bear. We all have our burdens to slog. But it's surprising that sometimes even the heaviest of burdens might seem light to others. So before we get into the story, my friend, I want to ask you just to do all the YouTube admin, the like, the share, the subscribe, the comment. When you hit the bell, pick all. It's all really important. So let's get into today's little story. It is simply called Carrying a Cross. And it reads like this. In a certain village in Italy, there lived a man who was always bewailing his lot. He was a Christian and found that the weight of his cross too heavy to bear. One night before going to sleep, he begged God to let him change his burden. That night he had a dream, and the Lord led him to a warehouse. Go ahead and change it, the Lord said. The man saw crosses of all sizes and shapes, with names of their owners. He picked an average size cross, but when he saw the name of an old friend written on it, he left it aside. Finally, as God had permitted, he chose the smallest cross he could find. To his surprise, he saw his own name written on it. There you go, my friend. It is a interesting story. You see, here is my take on that. When we carry our own cross, it seems like the world is on our shoulders. It feels like you're going to drown under the weight of the problems that you are burdened with, so to speak. Yes, the cross is an uncomfortable object to carry around with its straight edges and 90-degree corner and all this kind of stuff. And it is difficult, I would imagine. But you see, it might not necessarily be a literal cross. It might be the burden of relationships, the burden of a difficult childhood. It might be the burden of financial issues. It might be the burden of mental health or mental ill health. The list can go on. But we all have a cross to bear nonetheless. You see, my friend, when I carry my cross, it feels like I can't carry the weight because it is heavy, because I'm the one that's carrying it. I'm the one that's been carrying it for years, maybe decades. I might not be the youngest guy in the crowd to carry said cross, but it's my cross nonetheless. And it doesn't matter what other people tell me about my cross. It's not theirs to bear. I can't tell them about their cross. It is not my cross to bear either. And it nearly seems to me that each individual has got an individually crafted burden, an individually crafted cross for them to carry around. It nearly seems unfair. Why would we have these burdens to carry around? Now, here's my thought. You see, having a cross to bear keeps you humble. It keeps you in the place where you remain human. Having a cross to bear makes you understand and appreciate that there is trouble in the world. That we as people are fallible in some way or another. We struggle. The flip side of it is also carrying such an uncomfortable, heavy burden makes you strong. It gives you character. It gives you perseverance. It might even give you determination. It might give you a purpose. I don't know. Maybe you will have your own opinion on the cross that we bear, the burden that we have to carry around from day to day. And in the little story, the man decided that his burden, his cross, is too heavy. He's had enough of it. And isn't that true? We all get sick and tired of carrying this lump around. You see, we can go and speak to the Creator and say, man, this is too tough. It's too hard. It is such hard work. I need some relief. I need some kind of get out clause somewhere along the line. I need a bit of a respite period. Can I please exchange my burden for a smaller one, please, God? I hear people say. And the Creator, like in the story, will do that for you. He will take you to the place where these crosses are individualized and crafted and handed out to said people. And my friend, it's when you realize that your cross is not as big as others, it is then that the realization that actually other people's struggles are sometimes a lot tougher than yours. And I will say at this particular point in time, it is very difficult to identify with the struggles of others unless you've experienced some troubles yourself. And bearing a cross, my friend, is one way of kind of opening the eyes to the reality that is out there. You see, we all struggle, we all fall, we all trip up, because this thing is such a burden to carry around. You see, it's easy, and I've experienced from time to time in my life that when you trip and fall because of the weight of the worry, the weight of the problem, the weight of the circumstances that you have, because you trip and fall, it is easy for those who is carrying a lighter burden, it's easy to condemn and tell you that you are so weak and you need to get up, and why are you falling over? Why are you struggling, you so and so? It's true. And that's when humanity sets in. And we realize that for those who know very little about struggles, are very quick to point that condemning finger, very quick to sharpen their tongue that cuts like knives. A heart that is made from ice. There's millions of people like that. But when they struggle with their cross, they the first ones to reach out for help, because now they struggle with the burden and the struggle and the tripping up and the falling down and the can't get up bit, and then they want you, who they condemned last week, they want you to now help them and tell them how you got up. And quite frankly, the answer is very often, I had no other choice because of people like you. My friend, it is a sad place when there are so many people who are struggling. Why is it so that humanity is so selfish, that it's all about the I, the ego, the self? Instead of saying let the self help the other so that they don't struggle as much, the world will be a better place. In fact, that's what this particular channel is all about. You see, Lara and myself, we've had some struggles in our previous marriages. And it is because of those burdens, those crosses that we've had to bear, that we've joined forces in more ways than one in order to bring about this channel, in order to help others who are struggling with the burdens of life. You see, Kharis is the Greek word for grace. And we, having the scars and the wounds of many a fight and struggle, of having fallen down numerous times, being kicked by the people who were supposed to help, supposed to support. They were the ones who were kicking us. Now that we are up and we are battle ready in many ways, we decided that we're going to do something and use our pain for the purposes of helping others. That is what this channel is all about. We understand, because we've experienced these kind of troubles and these kind of situations. It's just a damn shame that people, generally speaking, do not have a similar attitude. It is what it is. But when you realize that there are people out there who are struggling, and you realize that your cross is the smallest one, from my point of view, it brings humility, and it keeps you to keep your mouth shut. Because now you appreciate that when people fall, it's not because they are weak. It is actually because they are struggling and they are keeping going forward. So my friend, I hope that this has brought some kind of awareness to you that when people struggle, it could be because of the weight that they are carrying. And instead of condemning, how about we help? That's all I want to say at this particular point in time. Like I said at the beginning of this particular video, please do all the YouTube admin. Share, subscribe. Please tell all your friends and family. But for now, this is Mark from Kharischangeworks. I'll speak to you soon.